What's up, y'all? I know what time it is. Got another tech testimonial going on with a dude who not just broke into tech. So not only did he do a boot camp, not only did he break into the tech industry, but he recently just transitioned to his second tech company. And this tech company is one that's doing not just mass hiring right now, but there are not just mass hiring, as well as other perks and benefits that the company has. But the equity in the company is going to make a lot of people millionaires in the next few years. So I'm super excited about this conversation that we're going to be having. I think it's going to be really beneficial. It's going to help a lot of people. Now, a lot of people have been applying. A lot of different people have been getting their jobs or getting jobs at the tech company that he recently got hired at. But some people have fallen short from the cognitive test that the company has. So one of the things I'm going to talk about with him is how he was able to pass the cognitive test and basically what the interview process was like for him. So that way it can help those of you out who've yet to apply for the company. We'll talk a little bit about the boot camp to help those of you out who haven't done the boot camp yet get some insights about the boot camp. And of course, as always, we're going to do some Q&A as well to answer some of you all's questions. So please let us know. Keep us posted on the audio at all times, letting us know if anything sounds off at all, because we want to make sure everybody can hear us clearly. We're incredibly excited. The goal is, of course, to help people get six-figure tech careers. But beyond that, this conversation is going to make a lot of people millionaires in the next few years, as my guest has the potential to be a millionaire or multi-millionaire, depending on how he plays his cards at the company that he just started at. So we talk a lot about six-figure conversations in tech, but now we're going to have conversations, some seven-figure conversations, because the goal is always scaling. The goal is always growing. So that way we can live the lifestyles that we want, that we pray for, that we work for, give back to our community, have the freedom we want, whatever it is that your personal goals are. So I'm really excited about my guest, Cam Easton, I'm about to bring on. So, of course, as always, we're going to go over a couple different house rules for everybody. There's always new people popping in. A few different house rules. First and foremost, be loving and graceful towards each other in the comments. Loving and graceful to each other in the comments. Be loving and graceful towards myself and my guests, but also be loving and graceful towards yourselves. So the purpose of this conversation is not to make anybody feel insecure. It's to motivate and inspire people, so that way you can become more. So 2 years ago to this day, I wasn't in tech yet. I was still Lyft driving. I just finished the boot camp. I was literally Lyft driving, interviewing, applying to companies. I was literally in the grind, in the process that many of you are in right now 2 years ago. Let me put some Carmax on because my lips looking a little crusty and dusty on the camera. Y'all, I don't want nobody roasting me in the comments on my crusty lips, so let me put some Carmax on real quick. So look, y'all, a couple other things. People going to ask this, and I want to share this, especially for people that are going to like rewatch this. The boot camp that he did, and we're going to talk about it. He did Course Careers Boot Camp. For those that are interested in Course Careers Boot Camp, put in the comment section. Myself and my virtual assistants are going to make sure to send you information about it. Put in the comment section tech sales. So if you type in tech sales, then particularly, especially those of y'all that are on Instagram, it's going to be a little bit harder for those of y'all that are on LinkedIn and YouTube. We'll do it for y'all too. But type in the word tech sales, and you'll receive a DM breakdown of Course Careers as well as a discount code if you decide to do the boot camp. Course Careers Boot Camp, they do have tech sales course as well as UX UI design course. They also have a customer success manager course and I'm drawing a blank. There's one other course that they have that I can't think of right now. But basically, most of their courses are, and a tech recruiter course. So for those of y'all that want to be tech recruiters, they also have a tech recruiter course as well, or HR tech or tech HR course. So all of those are six-figure roles, six-figure careers in tech, where you might start off either a little bit below six figures or a little bit above $100,000. Either way, as always, you'll be able to scale in the industry with any one of those roles. And yeah, just DM that and you'll receive a discount code. Yeah, thank you. Data analytics. They also have a data analytics course as well. So data analytics, tech sales, UX design, UI design, a customer success manager, and a HR course as well. Somebody said they're 60% finished with Course Careers. Let us know how it's going for you. Anyway, last thing, those of you who have applied for the company that my guest said that my guest is going to talk about, if you did fail the application process, make sure you listen to this because he's going to give insights about how the cognitive test went for him, what he did. I'm going to give some insights as well because I've gotten some updates from the company. And also, if anybody wants to do a one-on-one coaching session, just comment the word coach or coaching, whatever, and my team will send you just information so that way you can book a one-on-one. So anyway, blah, 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 flap my gums a lot, and go ahead and bring my guest on. Really excited to chop it up with him and hear his story. So that being said, y'all give a wonderful round of applause to my guest who, I'm tripping. I'm thinking you're already on here. You're literally sitting on here on YouTube. I was supposed to put you in the back room. That's funny. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring you on Instagram. Man. If y'all see me looking over to the left or to y'all's to the left, it's because we on Instagram as well. All right, bro. So y'all give a virtual round of applause, put some clapping emojis, fire emojis for the guests we have on tonight. The Tech Testimonial Tuesdays. What's good, bro?
What's happening, man? Appreciate you having me on the platform.
Man, thank you for coming on, dude. Yeah, bro, I'm excited about this conversation because I'm excited about the opportunity. One, I'm excited about hearing your story, but also I'm excited about the opportunity that's here for everybody else and for them to learn from you, not just how to break into tech, but potentially to have an opportunity at, such a dope tech company like the one that you're at right now.
For sure. Most definitely.
All right, bro. Y'all see the product placement, Tech is New Black. All right, man, bro. So Cam, bro, let's jump into it, dude. I don't want to take up your time. So, bro, first and foremost, can you tell the people a little bit about who you are? Who is Cam before tech? And then we'll kind of lead that up to what happened that led you to wanting to get into tech. But first, please introduce yourself to the people. Who is Cam outside of newly being in the tech industry?
For sure, man. I appreciate that intro. And like I said, I want to say thank you for having me on the platform. I've been watching your videos since January and just all the testimonials from the course careers and the different platforms. I appreciate, the opportunity to pay it forward to the next person who's looking to get into this space. And I just want to be a resource. But just a little bit about me. Cam Easton. I come from an athletic background. So I wanted to play college ball up in the New England area for about 2 years. I went to Southern Connecticut and then I transferred over to Western New England. I got to a point where I fell out of love with football. And I just wanted to, bro, I loved it. I love the game, but once it's a Drake saying, the moment I stop having fun with it, I'll be done with it. So
that's real.
I had to drop the game. So we can fast forward to or go back to late 2019. My boy had been working at a life insurance company. Shout out to Sully. I'm sure he's on here. And he told me that they were running this referral program for about $2,000 to get hired. And once you pass the life and health insurance exams and get hired, you get that $2,000 referral bonus. Yeah. So me, I'm a broke college student at this time, bro. I was working for Jamba Juice. I was selling smoothies. I was selling windows for a short minute, and then I was also selling windows and doors, just doing all these odd jobs. Yeah. So I passed the exam and everything in February of 2020. So my first week is March of 2020. So I feel like you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I think so.
So COVID shuts everything, bro. COVID shuts everything down.
Everything.
So crucial for us because at this job specifically, it was just so old school, so textbook. And what I mean by that is we would sell in people's houses. We're doing door knocking Saturdays. I'm talking very old school. So our sales process wouldn't translate to a remote environment. You know what I mean? So mind you, this job is commission only. So during the pandemic, I'm essentially unemployed. From March to June, once restrictions were lifted, that's when I was able to get back in the office and kind of get things going. But even then, people were still weary just because we're going through a pandemic. So during this time, I picked up a second job at Planet Fitness. And that was pretty much my base pay. So I was working 8 to 4 at this life insurance job and then hustle over about 15 minutes down the road and work a 5 to 10 p.m. shift at Planet Fitness. And I don't know if you were going to the gym during the pandemic, but bro, they were pretty empty. So I used that time. I used that time to invest in myself. So I would read, I'd be on YouTube. I'd learn about like the Sandler selling method, just about value selling in general. Just seeing how I can better myself during this kind of downtime that I had never really had in my life, coming from a sports background. So kind of going to this life insurance job though. So yeah, things start opening up a little bit. And a lot of the leads that I had were in downtown inner city Wilmington. And I don't know how familiar you are with Delaware, but for lack of a better term, I mean, I was in the trenches selling this life insurance. So there aren't too many wealthy folks down there who are in like a financial position to actually spend an extra $50 to $100 on some life insurance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this was I would say it was a blessing in disguise looking back on it now. So I'm going into these meetings knowing that you can't afford it, or that my commission dollars are only going to hit for like $20. So like,
crazy.
But what that did though, man, was it lowered the stakes. So I'm not nervous going into these meetings. I know like what's the worst thing that's going to happen?
They're going to
say no, or
yeah,
exactly. So it's very low pressure. I'm going into it just realizing I'm not going to miss out on a huge commission. The most I'm going to make is like $20 to $50 on this, commission. So it's very low stakes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to these meetings with my guard down. I mean, I'm confident, and I know that at the very least, I'll be able to educate these folks on the importance of life insurance. And that's something that going into inner city Wilmington, a lot of these people hadn't had that education on life insurance. They didn't even know really what it did. But just having the opportunity to educate these folks was something that got me better at selling quickly. Just getting in front of as many people as possible and just getting those reps in. Like I said, bro, it all comes back to sports. So getting those reps in and getting that repetition is going to get you better quickly.
So would you say this was like the start of the foundation, not the foundation, but because it sounds like you had a little bit before with the what you're doing slightly before this, but so pandemic hit.
Correct.
Things got harder because that definitely makes that type. It made all the business harder, but that type of business makes that business model really hard. Man, but this was the foundation of not just you understanding sales and you doing sales, but also you understanding some of the grind that could come in when it comes to sales.
Oh, no doubt, bro. And I remember looking back on it, like I would ask God, like, I mean, is this my destination? Like, is this what I'm, supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
But a verse that always like stuck with me is John 13:7. You may not know now, but later you'll understand.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
That one definitely stuck with me. Oh, go ahead.
No. It's totally fine now, bro. It's good. I love that. Just you in the midst of that, like you mentioned, like you asking God, like, yo, what's going on? But then like just his scripture keeping you glued to, hey, you don't see what's happening now, but there's gonna be something else. So I'm definitely curious. So where did that lead to? And I don't want to jump too far ahead. I don't want to assume that the next thing was just straight up tech, but
right.
When did the transition happen?
Sure. So I can kind of briefly go through it. But after this role, I went to another life insurance job, which was a lot more structured. So I actually got a base pay, had some bonuses, had some benefits, which was a complete 360 from the spot that I was at before, which was strictly commission. Secondly, the people I'm selling to are members of these associations. So like New York State Bar Association, American Academy of Pediatrics. So I'm selling to doctors and lawyers. So
people that got money. People that got some money now.
Bro, I went from a point from selling to people who saw the value but couldn't afford it to now I'm selling to people who see the value and they can afford it. Yeah. Oh, bro, it's like shooting fish into a barrel. Like it became so easy. But then, I was doing that for about a year and a half. And then I got to a point where I just wasn't passionate about life insurance. Like it's such a morbid topic to talk about. Like I'm building these relationships with these people and I'm talking about like the worst outcome possible. I'm getting to learn about their family, their kids' names. And I'm talking about a scenario where you're not in the picture and like your family that you leave behind has to pick up these pieces.
Yeah.
So those are very difficult conversations to have with people, like especially that you don't really know. So that was definitely was a good spot to be because I got to be around a lot of successful salespeople. So I was able to pick up a lot of like little nuances that set apart like a good salesperson from a great salesperson. Like how do they set up their day? What KPIs are important for them to track? Just little things like that will set you apart were things that I was able to pick up here.
That's and good. Then I've seen a lot of people. No, I was gonna say what I like about just hearing this that I've seen a lot of people that don't have a sales background at all, and then they do a tech sales boot camp, and then they get into tech. But I can hear how you already had a pretty good understanding of some of the things, even you mentioning, KPIs or, I'm sure you had to learn a lot of training when it came to like objection handling or overcoming objections and all of those things. So you already had a pretty good foundational understanding of sales. which is really dope. Do you think that was because I know you mentioned it was in January that you started considering getting into tech? Do you think that was why you chose tech sales, or was there a different reason?
Yeah, I would say I chose tech sales just because of the foundation that I built just with the life insurance. I just felt like it would be an easier transition just because of that background I had. And I knew once I got my foot in the door, I can go which way avenue I'd like to go. The main thing was just breaking down that door and getting into tech. And I felt like that was my best asset.
Yeah. Okay. So now you went from selling to people that didn't have money. They understood the product, they understood the value, but they didn't have money.
Correct.
Selling to people who had money and they understood the value. But unfortunately, the topic was so morbid, like the most morbid topic. You're literally talking about, death essentially.
Right.
And you started getting tired of that. You're like, okay, starting to be a bit draining talking about this topic. Right. What was it that, I guess, what happened that had you say, oh, wow, you know what? I should check out this tech industry thing.
I would just say fatigue from talking about, as you mentioned, the whole life insurance thing for, at that point, like 2.5 years, just doing that 40 hours a week, talking about those topics. Like, I'm a very positive, happy person. I'm not talking about death usually. I'm not used to doing that. So doing that for 40 hours a week was just like, took a toll on you. And it's funny though, because we were planning on doing this call last night, but obviously decided against it just because of the holiday. But today actually marks a year since I started Course Careers. It was September 5th, 2022. And it's funny that I
didn't even realize that. That's crazy.
That you started, got into tech, 2 years ago. I just thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, October 4th of last year. But during this time, I got my offer letter probably a week or 2 weeks, like from now, 2 years ago, from my first tech company. Okay. Yeah, no, that's wild. That's wild. So you did. So were you already familiar? Like, how familiar were you already with the tech industry? And when you first saw whatever post that you saw or whatever that made you think about tech sales, were you like, oh, this is cap? Or were you like, oh no, I think this is legit? Like, what was your experience when you first found out about it? And like, what was that decision? Like, what was the decision point for you to make to actually like follow through with it?
I would say, like, I would see it all the time on my For You page on TikTok. Like, I'm always interacting with, developing my career. So that was the kind of content I would see on my For You page. And it was actually another Black in tech kind of guy on the TikTok space named Sharif, who I was able to learn from and just ask his questions and pick his brain.
Oh, I know Sharif.
Yes.
I know him personally.
Yeah.
I met him last week. I met him last week in person at InvestFest.
Okay.
And we actually had a meeting because we're working on collaborating on something. Yeah, I'm familiar with
Small
Sharif.
World. Yeah,
I'm familiar with him. Yeah.
So, I would just pick his brain a little bit because, like, to your point, it does sound too good to be true. Like, you're telling me I can make 6 figures like from the crib with no experience, really? Like, it just sounds crazy. It's like almost like too real to believe. But no, just picking his brain a little bit, that definitely I would say pushed me over the edge. And then he told me about the course career, so I'm not going into any of these roles blind. Like, I'm able to actually train myself. I'm actually able to know these little TLAs or like 3 little acronyms like KPIs, BDR, SDR. I get to learn all that stuff going into it without having any prior experience. So I think that's invaluable.
All right, so man, shout out to Sharif. That's fire.
No, for sure. It's a small world.
Hey, it is a small world, and it's always good hearing about because there are more and more tech content creators and just people that are in tech in general that are trying to put other people on. And so I love that a lot. I mean, obviously you're doing the same thing, like technically by default, just by you being on here, you're putting people on. You got people that are from, that follow you, that don't even follow me, that are joined in right now, that know about you and are hearing your story. So it's just dope seeing like just different people help one another. Cause I can't help everybody. It's like all of us are just kind of able to do our part. So that's fire. So it really does, bro. It really does. And so, all right. So you found out about Course Careers. First, you're like, that's sounds like a lot of money to make, but you looked into it anyway. You believed what Sharif was saying. Mm-hmm. You did Course Careers. At the time, I think they only had a couple courses, but you did their tech sales course.
Yep.
And what was your experience like? I guess if you could just explain to people, because people hear me talk about this a lot, but I would love for them to hear from you. what is Course Careers exactly, and what was your experience like doing their boot camp?
Sure. Yeah. Course Careers is an online learning platform, and it's not like you're sitting in a traditional classroom and you're being taught. It's all self-paced. So I mean, you could finish it as quickly as you'd like, or you could, take your time and kind of do it on the side and take a few months if you really want. I actually, yeah, it was very smooth, bro. I got through about halfway through, but prior to that, I had already been applying to some tech sales companies.
Yeah.
So like 2 weeks into Course Careers, I ended up getting hired at the last role I was at was a pre-employment software company that just made the hiring process and experience easier for both sides. So yeah, I only got through half of it before getting hired. But then since I've gone back and finished it, but no, it's a very impactful platform, especially for people with no prior experience. So no, definitely.
Yeah, I love you mentioning that for a couple reasons. One, what a lot of people don't know, and I've shared this a few times before, that one, if doing Course Careers, I brought like 6 or 7 people on live with me that have gotten jobs before they finish Course Careers. So one, doing Course Careers is beneficial, especially like you mentioned, for people that don't have any sales experience. But in those that do have sales experience, it definitely amplifies them being able to get roles faster. But the other dope part about it is that when tech companies see that someone's in the midst of a course, it's like you don't have to be finished with a course before you start applying. I always tell people, as soon as you're like around the halfway point of a course, you should probably start beginning applying, because just the tech company seeing you in a course already is showing them, okay, you're in the midst of the education. You're going to be finished in a couple of weeks. Well, shoot, we want first dibs on being able to hire you before another company gets you. So it makes perfect sense.
Not 100%. Like, they love that you take that initiative and that you're always learning. Like, this Course Careers thing, I mean, it's not required to get into tech, but it will definitely give you a leg up over somebody who didn't take it. So I mean, they definitely look at you more favorably for taking that initiative to want to better yourself.
Yeah, especially somebody who has not just a non-tech background, but also doesn't have a sales background. Somebody just coming in cold off the streets. I'm gonna tell you, with me, I tried to get in tech for about a year before I did a boot camp. I wasn't even getting an interview. I was getting nothing. And so I definitely had to do a boot camp. That was something that was necessary for me. But anyway, so you did Course Careers. Yep. And for those that don't know, it is a self-paced boot camp. It's entirely self-paced, so you can finish it either in a few weeks or a few months. And, they have a variety of different courses now. Like I mentioned earlier, for those of y'all that are just jumping on the stream that missed it, they have a customer success manager. They have a tech sales course, which is what he did to land his role. They also have a tech HR, which basically helps you get a tech recruiter role, as well as data analytics, UX design, and UI design. So, and again, it's the boot camp is only $500. If you want a discount code to save some extra money, you could use Cyrus50. I have it pinned in the comments here on Instagram. But Cyrus50 to get $50 off. So that way you only pay $449 instead. And so, but either way, it's a really good program. I think the majority of people, I'm part of a few different boot camps, but I think the majority of people that hit me up to get jobs, they get them to get it the fastest through Course Careers, specifically because of the tech sales program, because tech sales is one of the most in-demand roles in tech. Like, it's one of the roles in tech that's like very seldomly affected by any layoffs, because a company can't make money if they don't have sales team pushing their product. So you kind of need it. So I love it, bro. So all right, so you did Course Careers. You got your first job in tech 2 weeks into doing Course Careers.
Yep. And
what was it? So you were at that company for the most part. You were good, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. What made you say, okay, you know what? Because I saw your post on your post on LinkedIn, by the way. Thanks for the shout out.
No, most definitely.
But what was it that made you say, yo, I want to check out this other company, which is the company y'all that we're talking about that's doing the mass hiring? What was it that made you say, yo, I want to check out this Kaseya company and potentially transition from my company to transition over to this company?
Sure. Excuse me. So yeah, like I mentioned, this company that I was at prior was a pre-employment software company. So when the economy is booming and a lot of jobs are being filled and a lot of people are being hired, I mean, this is a great job to be in for being a BDR, setting these meetings. problem is when the economy is in shambles and jobs are not hiring, I mean, there's no need for this software. So in my mind, I'm thinking it's just like a ticking time bomb until like this whole thing blows up. So I just rather be proactive as opposed to reactive. You know what I mean? So I started doing research just on the IT and cybersecurity space, and I found it to be the most quote unquote recession-proof industry in tech that I could get myself into. So it's funny, like I came across Kaseya not even through business, like it's because of naming rights. So they're actually, for people who don't know, the Kaseya Arena is where the Miami Heat play. So during the playoffs, I see Kaseya all the time because they're playing their home games there. They end up going to the finals, and it's called the Kaseya Center. So I did my research on them, and like 2 and 2 kind of just clicked, and like the little light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, no, this might be the spot to be. And then God's timing is perfect. Like I think like a month or 2 later, whenever you did the call with Jack Chapman on your platform, I realized like this is something I had to jump on. Like this rocket ship that is Kaseya is like, oh no, like the stars are aligning, so to speak. So I had to get on it. So yeah, bro, I went through. I'll go ahead, bro.
No. I was gonna say I wanted to highlight something that you said because I don't want people to miss it. Like, notice he said he was already at a tech company. He was good, but he wasn't just like, okay, I'm just working my job, I'm clocking in, clocking out, you know, and I'm just whatever, I'm living my best life. He was paying attention to what was happening. He was observing his company and was paying attention to the type of software or technology his company had. And he said that he was like, yo, I need to pay attention to what's happening with my company and let me look and be prepared to make the next move. And the reason why I share this, and I'm happy somebody actually commented and asked me to stop interrupting him.
No, you're all good, bro.
So this in particular, I needed to highlight this because what the person that made that comment, I know you mean well, you don't understand. There are people that are losing their jobs that DM me all the time. And what he said is so key and so important. So I want to double down on what he said, how many people get in tech. Like he got his first job this time last year. A lot of people are getting in tech, are chilling at their company. They're like, I'm good. I'm in the tech industry now. And they're not doing what he did, where he had the wisdom and the foresight to pay attention to what was happening and transition over to another tech company where he's like, okay, this company's on the rise now. Because one, it's a cybersecurity tech company, which cybersecurity is one of the most recession-proof jobs in tech. But then also him doing a tech sales job at a cybersecurity company, that is literally like doubling down on how the money, how recession-proof it is, all of that. So I wanted to jump in because as we were going to move on, I knew I was going to forget about that point. I want y'all to hear that. So those of y'all that are breaking in tech, even those of y'all that are in tech right now, literally marinate on what he said and make sure that you're paying attention to your job, to your role, because I want to make sure that y'all are good and basically learn from the wisdom that he just mentioned.
No, for sure. I appreciate you pointing that out.
No, thanks for saying that, bro.
No, for sure. But yeah, after I heard the conversation that you had with Jack on your platform, obviously something I wanted to jump on. And then you also had, I believe it was Silman, I think you had on too. You had somebody else from Kaseya you had on for one of your lives. So no, it was definitely great to be able to hear their perspective and then be able to hit them up offline and just kind of pick their brains a little bit and just see what is life really like here at Kaseya.
Yeah. So bro, I've been hearing great things about the company. I've actually got to go up there and mix and mingle a little bit with some of the people that are there.
Nice.
And so, yeah, like he mentioned, it's right at the Miami Heat Center. It's literally walking distance from my crib. Like one of the offices, there are 2 of the offices are, I literally, when I went to the office, it would have taken me longer to jump in my car and go down the parking deck and drive there than to walk over there. Yep. So it's definitely a dope company. So I'm going to let you talk a little bit about, so when did you actually start at Kaseya?
A week ago yesterday. I started the 28th of August.
Okay, the 28th of August. So you've already touched on how it's essentially a cybersecurity software company. Now they're doing mass hirings. I'll allow you, like, what all do you know about the mass hiring they have going on? I'll add to anything that you don't mention. But like what all's happening right now when it comes to the mass hiring at Kaseya?
Yeah, so we agreed with the city of Miami that we will be bringing in 3,400 jobs over the next 3 years. And what that means is Kaseya loves to hire within and be able to promote within. So there are going to be a lot of manager jobs and director jobs that are a byproduct and a result of this. These are managers only, you're managing about 8 to 10 people. So just kind of doing the math there, 3,400 people only managing 8 to 10 people. I mean, there's going to be a lot of managers and directors that are birthed from this. A lot of these people coming in. What else? That's pretty much what I know as far, like I said, I started last Monday, so I don't really know too much, but I do know that they are obviously scaling and this company is growing. We acquired Datto this time, around like this time last year, which was our biggest competitor in the space. So right now we really have a stronghold on the market. And like I mentioned, I mean, this thing is a rocket ship, bro. Our biggest competitor just bought
the competitor.
6.2 bill. So I mean, I don't want to say monopoly. That's a crazy word, but we really have a stronghold on the market.
Yeah. Yo, man, I love that. So, all right. So they're hiring 3,400 jobs, and the roles that I know that they're hiring for, because I know a lot of people are asking in the comments, especially over here on LinkedIn and YouTube, they're hiring. So the mass hiring is specifically for their tech sales roles, which is their SDR, account executive, and or account manager roles, and their solutions consultant roles, aka sales engineer roles.
Right.
Kaseya is very familiar at this point. They're very familiar, and they've been very vocal about it with course careers and careers as bootcamps, because a lot of the people they've been hiring, whether it's through me talking about it or through other people that have been talking about it, especially with people like Jack Chapman and others, they are very familiar with course careers and careers. Of course, careers is the bootcamp that I did. I did their sales engineering program, and their careers, they're familiar with course careers as well. So that's why I always mention tech bootcamps, but these last few weeks I've been talking about these two bootcamps specifically when it comes to this company Kaseya, because they're very familiar when it comes to Kaseya is very familiar with these bootcamps. And so if you've done those boot camps, I definitely encourage you to apply to Kaseya. If you haven't, obviously, I would suggest you checking out the boot camps. Those that want to do the solutions engineering boot camp or sales engineering boot camp, again, I have a discount link for careerists. Those of y'all that are on Instagram, you can literally just comment the word sales engineer or solutions engineer, solutions consultant, whatever. My team will see your comment and we'll message you a breakdown of the bootcamp as well as a discount link. If you want to do the tech sales bootcamp, then just comment tech sales and then they'll send that over to you. And lastly, we're going to jump into talking a little bit about what his application interview process was like, as well as the cognitive test that he took and what he did that he remembers as to what helped him pass the test. Because a lot of people have been applying and a lot of people have been getting jobs. I received a report that when I went live last week, and it was either from my live last week or the live before, 30 people just from last week or the week before that came through myself and or Jack Chapman, 30 people have gotten jobs at Kaseya now. So y'all, it's like really, y'all are really getting hired.
No, so Kaseya needs to cut you a check. At this point.
Hey, look, I'm happy to see people winning, especially if they work in there. We're gonna have a big party because I live over here. I'm like,
oh yeah, you're right next door.
A big party, yeah, for real. So yeah. So one, they're y'all are really getting hired. Now listen, y'all, 30 people got hired. Roughly 50 people got denied. So I want to be very raw and transparent. The 50 people that got denied for one of two reasons. Either one, they applied and did not do a boot camp. And I mentioned this before. They didn't have any tech sales or sales engineering background and or did not do a boot camp. The other reason why some people got denied is because they did not pass the cognitive test. So again, if you've not done a tech sales or sales engineering boot camp, I'm not even going to say you have to do course careers or careerists. I just know that they're familiar with those boot camps. But if you haven't done one at all, probably pump the brakes, do a boot camp. But if you have done a boot camp, apply. But everybody needs to listen to basically him talking about his experience when it comes to his application process, interview process, and definitely the cognitive test, which is half the reason some people didn't get jobs last week. So yeah, bro. So anyway, let's jump into it. So you apply to Kaseya, at what point did you have to take the cognitive test, and what was that like for you?
Sure. So after my first call with the recruiter, so I applied on, say, like a Friday, heard back from the recruiter Monday, had the call, say, Wednesday, and then take the test. Yeah, it was very smooth. He told me kind of how to get through it. You don't want to spend too much time on any one question because it is a time test. I didn't even get through the whole thing. He said just spend like a minute on each question. I mean, you could have a little pad of paper, a calculator if you want to get through it, but just don't dwell on one question for too long. Just try to get through as much as you can, and educated guesses too. Like if you're down between, say, two answers, don't just stare at it for, an extra minute and a half. Like just pick one that you feel good about, and then just keep it pushing for the next question. Then after that, I had two interviews with two different VPs. The main thing with just meeting with them was just building that rapport, because in this sales job that I'm in, it's a lot of relationship building, and the clients and the accounts that I'm working with are already, partners with Kaseya. They've already bought from us. So like the heavy lifting's already done. I just need to go in there, make sure that their view of Kaseya is still positive, and I can escalate any situations or any outstanding tickets that they have. And then I can just be viewed as, like their champion essentially. So I would say when you do get the interviews with the VPs, make sure that you're building that rapport. Take a look, do some research. It takes 2 seconds. Go to LinkedIn, see where they went to college. Like I was just chopping it up with one of the VPs. He went to University of Texas. And I mean, I'm a big football guy. I don't know if you know who Peyton Manning is, but his nephew, I believe it is over there. I think he's a freshman at Texas. So just chopping it up with him just about literally anything under the sun, anything that he finds interest in, or she, just bring that up in the interview, and you can just chop it up, and they'll just build that rapport. That's huge, especially in a role like this.
That's really good. That's really good to mention, because a lot of people don't understand the value of even the small talk or things like that, and building a rapport with people. And so also I want to mention this, y'all. I don't want also as much as there's a huge hiring opportunity going on with Kaseya, we're also going to talk about, I know those of y'all that are on Instagram see that I have the comment, I have it pinned, tech millionaire. I wanted to put it like he potentially could be a tech millionaire in the near future, but it limits how much I could type there, and it was pissing me off.
It's funny. I got a few texts this morning. They were like, "You're a millionaire." I'm like, "Nah." Let me hold it down. It's like, "Nah, don't do that."
That's hilarious. Look, y'all.
Not yet.
So, we're going to talk about this in a second.
Yep.
So he has a strong potential to become a millionaire just by working at this company. We're going to talk about what that is like in a second. First, we're going to talk maybe a little bit more about the cognitive test. Also, thank you. Somebody just asked on YouTube, are the roles remote? That is the only thing. If I would say if there's a downside with this opportunity, is that it is not remote. It is in office. The office, they have different offices around the world, definitely around the United States. Most of the mass hiring is going on here in Miami, but they do say, from what I was told, and I've been told this by a few different people that work there, and I'm talking to them almost every day, y'all. So this ain't just me just rambling and saying stuff. I'm in constant communication with them. They did say to still apply, and if you're hired on, that they would look at a nearby location for you, and you potentially could work at one of the offices that are nearby you. But the on-site location is here in Brickell, Miami, which is one of the dopest parts of the United States. I literally moved here because this area is so fire. And so it's an incredible area. Also, somebody said Miami traffic is next level. I mean, every major city traffic is next level. I ain't gonna lie, Brickell traffic is some pretty crazy traffic. I rarely drive because of the traffic out
Bro,
there.
These people cannot drive. No turn signal. They'll just cut you off whenever. Like, no courtesy on the road. But hey, man, that's the culture though.
Hey, it's wild. Now look, y'all, I'll say this. Definitely, I want everybody to obviously pray on the opportunity. For those of y'all that are prayers, believers, all of that, definitely pray on it. Aside from that, if you are broke, you cannot be like, I'm not moving for a 6-figure job with the potential that in a few years, with the equity the company's going to give me, I could be a millionaire in a few years. Just because you don't want to move to Miami. If you're broke and you like, I ain't moving, you deserve to be broke. I'm gonna say it very blunt like that. Because if you're one of those people where you're like, it's not that serious, then that's and I'm not saying this to be rude. I'm saying this to like speak bluntly to people and wake people up. Because I was broke until I got to a point where I just hated being broke. And I was like, yo, I'm tired of this. I'm going to figure out what I need to do. And that's why I looked at the tech industry. Because I was a person, I know some people are like, oh, you don't want to work for corporate. You don't want a job. That was me. I was like, I don't want to work corporate. I'm a creative. I'm an artist. Look, that stuff went out the window when I got tired of being broke. And I'm so happy I left that lifestyle behind me. Because being financially blessed and not being this super creative artist person is way better than being a broke struggling artist. I'm gonna tell y'all that straight up. So I'm gonna just go ahead and leave it there. But yeah, they have locations in different places as well. But definitely do not. Again, unless God leads you otherwise, do not miss out on a 6-figure job that will become a $1 million or multi-million dollar equity play in the next few years. Like you literally are staring at becoming a millionaire in the face and say, I don't want it because I don't want to move. I don't want to go in the office. It's like, okay, cool. Let that be you.
Right.
So
exactly.
Somebody said they got palm trees. I'll move. That's funny. So
and they do. I saw a recruiter cousin in the comments. They do assist with relocation packages, but everything's negotiable.
Yeah.
So your packages may vary, but they will offer some assistance though.
Somebody said, so we're gonna get to that. Somebody said, with all the political stuff going on in Florida, is Miami really safe in the long run for Black folks? Yeah. Look, I tell y'all this straight up. I ain't gonna get too much into the politics stuff. But look, y'all, Miami is not a place that hates Black people at all. And it's not going to become a place that hates Black people. So again, I try not to get too much into the political stuff because I will tell y'all this. I used to hear this a lot back when I was broke, whatever, that many times a lot of the racial issues and stuff that we hear about, it happens more amongst communities that are broke than it does really with Black people. It's like a lot of the issues that we deal with, it's really stuff to keep people broke. Like they keep broke people distracted by a lot of the political stuff, the racial stuff, the sexist stuff. It's stuff that keeps us distracted. I promise you, Miami's good. It's a one. I'm gonna just stop it there. It's a good place. I ain't about to get all into it or get too deep into
it's
it.
Definitely the place to be, especially in the tech industry. I mean, you look at spots like Austin, Texas, obviously here in Miami, and then Silicon Valley. Like those are the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse. Like those are the 3 spots to be.
It's definitely popping. Definitely popping. So, all right. So you did the cognitive test, you passed it, and I want everybody to hear what he mentioned earlier, where he said that one of the most, if not the most important thing about the cognitive test is to make sure you answer as many questions as possible. I will tell y'all that the cognitive test is not an easy test. It's got a lot of math in it. It's got a lot of like physics questions in it. It's got a lot of variety of questions. Do not think, and I think what you only get 15 minutes to answer it, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. From the
15 minutes to answer 50 questions. You are not going to answer all of them. Like you're not going to get all of them right. Let me say it that way. It's better for you to, like you mentioned, look at it, try to make the best decision you can, but do not sit there and answer only 10 questions because you wanted to get all of them right. You're going to play yourself.
Right.
Don't play yourself. So, all right, somebody said let's get into the cognitive test. Well, I just touched on it. Please double back with me if you have any questions specifically for Cam to answer with it, because that's as much as I know. We'll probably double back to it. Those of y'all that are on Instagram, make sure y'all are dropping your questions in the question box below, so that way we can get to your questions. We're about to wrap up from this in just a second, but now let's kind of transition over to the equity conversation, because this is where we talk about how Cam, as well as many other people at the company, how many other people at the company potentially are going to become millionaires in the next 2 years when the company goes public. So Cam, can you please explain as much as you know about the equity opportunity that's at your company?
Sure. So I'd have to take a look at my comp plan. I actually just got it sent today. But as far as equity, I have a few notes here. Our CEO, Fred Vicola, has said that he wants to see how many millionaires that he can make here at Kaseya. I have never been at a company where the CEO is just outwardly telling you, I want to make you as rich as possible. just from working hard and putting the work in. If you, as much effort as you put into Kaseya, they will reinvest in you tenfold. And that's what I've learned. And just being like in sales, like you can get rich and you can make a lot of money by just being an individual contributor. But the real piece of the pie is when you have equity into the company, and especially a company like Kaseya that's such a rocket ship that's going towards, you know, different heights that it's going to. And it's still private right now. It's not even a public company. Kaseya is still a private company at this stage of the game. And I do have a few numbers here. As far as the equity piece goes, there are 25 new millionaires each year here at Kaseya, and there are hundreds on hundreds of quarter millionaires that are made each year here at Kaseya. I mean, it's impactful stuff, man. Like it's crazy the kind of money that's out there. You just have to find it.
Look, y'all, this is
trying to tell you, man.
This is so exciting, y'all. Like literally and this isn't just from Cam. Multiple people at the company I've spoken to, people that are high up in the company, they've all shared this. The CEO, just like Cam mentioned, he said, I have a goal to see, I want to make as many millionaires as possible within my company. So that's why I put like, hey, like he'll be a millionaire before 30, depending on what he does, depending on how the company continues to do, which it's a rocket ship right now. Again, it's a cybersecurity company. Cybersecurity that's like a very recession-proof role, because as many tech companies as there are, and every company in some way is becoming a tech company, you need security around the software, because if a company gets hacked, that could be a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit. Companies getting hacked ruins a lot of companies. So cybersecurity isn't a nice to have, or security software isn't a nice to have. It's a necessity for tech companies. So this company's a rocket ship, as well as him being in a tech sales role within the company is like, again, doubles down on how much of a rocket ship opportunity this is. So the equity that he has, and the equity is a part of the package when you get hired there. That is what is making the people, like he mentioned, every year there's hundreds of people becoming quarter millionaires, and then like, you know, about 25 more or less people that are becoming millionaires. And so that's why I titled it like, hey, before 30, because I mean, how old are you right now?
24.
Yeah. So literally, and I can't speak again. I'm not speaking for the company. I can't speak for the company. I'm not an employee. I'm not a representative of the company. Nevertheless, based on things I've heard in terms of their projections as to when they plan on going public, you know, and if anybody doesn't understand what it means when a company goes public, basically right now they're a private company. So only private investors and or employees of the company are able to have equity within the company. And once the company goes public, that means anybody publicly can then like basically buy stocks of the company, and which usually increases the valuation or the value of the company or how much the company is worth. And that means everybody that owned equity in the company, like Cam does now, that increases the money he's put into it and increases how much that he's able to pull out of it and essentially become either like a millionaire or right below a millionaire just from the equity play. So it's a six-figure job that comes with an automatic potential $1 million or multi-million-dollar investment. It's just automatically there. All he needs to do is do his job, stay at the company. Yep. And as long as he's like, yo, I'm cool with staying in this company, he potentially is looking at in the next 2 years. So he's going to be getting six-figure checks every year. And in the next 2 years, boom, getting right below $1 million or maybe a couple $1 million checks, which is crazy to think about.
Bro, just all from working a 9 to 5.
So it's crazy,
bro. It's insane.
People don't get this. It's so wild.
No, for real.
Bro, I'm so happy for you, dude.
I appreciate it, bro. But hey, like I said, I really appreciate you just shedding a light on this opportunity for folks like, you know, like myself that can take advantage and want to put the work in and change the course of not only for my life, but everybody around me.
Bro, man, bro, I'm blessed to do this for real. And man, shouts out to people like yourself to take advantage of the opportunities. You know what's funny? When I first got in tech, I didn't even understand what equity was. And unfortunately, most of us, like most Black people, a lot of us, we get and Shanae, who's recruiter cousin in the comments, she could speak to this. Many times we get these jobs at tech companies, and I'm even speaking about myself, and we're like, it's only paying $90,000. I want to get paid $120,000. But the company will say, but yeah, we have this amazing, we also are paying you an equity or these stock options as well. And it's like, we don't, because we're ignorant, we look at that and we say, I don't care about none of that. No, what y'all paying me? And the thing is, what we don't realize is that most wealth in tech is actually accrued through equity and through the stock options. And that's why many of us will be in tech and we'll be flexing and happy that we're making $120,000, $130,000, $150,000, $200,000 even. But we're missing out on, just like Shanae said, also the sign-on bonus. We're missing out on the sign-on bonuses, which I've had people on Tech is the New Black, a homeboy, Tay on Tech, who's in cybersecurity. He got a $70,000 sign-on bonus from a company. $70,000 just to say, yes, I'll work at your company outside of his multiple six-figure salary.
Right.
So we miss out on these things, especially the equity play and the stock play. So definitely those of y'all that don't understand what this is, probably watch a quick YouTube video on it. Somebody said, who's a recruiter on here? So she's not on YouTube. She's on Instagram right now in the Instagram comments. But if you go to LinkedIn or go to Instagram, her name is Recruiter Cousin. It's anyway, so huge opportunity. Make sure y'all were educated on these things. Because again, we have a lot of six-figure conversations, but now it's like, yo, let's start talking seven-figure conversations. How can we get seven figures in this industry as well? Because I'm gonna be real with y'all. Making $120,000, those of y'all that are making $70,000 or under, you might think, oh man, I'm gonna have so much money when I'm making $120,000. I'm gonna tell you straight up, it's not that much money. It's really not. It's a lot more than $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. But you'll realize the real money is when we're talking about that, that $250,000 and up. That's when you're really tapping into money where you can really just live the life the way you want to for the most part. But if we talk about that seven figures, and again, that $250,000, that's what's happening at his company, where every year, hundreds of people are entering that $250,000 mark, whether it's through their equity or just through their salary within the company. So
right. Huge
opportunity. Last thing I want to say about this, and then we're going to jump into the questions that y'all are submitting. Also, those of y'all that are doing boot camps, or if you've done a boot camp already, I want to say this as well. As exciting as this opportunity is with Kaseya, don't put all of your eggs in the basket of Kaseya. Still be applying to other tech companies, still be interviewing at other tech companies. Basically, continue to do all the things I've already talked about. Don't just be like, oh my God, it has to be this company. And if it's not this company, nothing else matters. No, this is an amazing opportunity. But aside from the mass hiring that's happening at this company, there are still tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of tech companies that are still hiring right now, paying a lot of money. And there are definitely still tens of thousands of tech companies that also have amazing equity options as well to really transform your life. So I will make sure, do the boot camp if you haven't done it. Don't just apply for Kaseya. Make sure you're applying to other companies as well. So I just wanted to make sure I mention that, because I don't want nobody just applying and you just sit around twiddling your thumbs and you're not being like, making action with other opportunities.
No, most definitely. But to piggyback off what you're talking about as far as applying, here at Kaseya, we have a referral program. So you could just use me as a referral. Again, my name is Cam Easton. And with that, I get a link and I'm able to track your progress in the application process and the hiring process. And I can escalate things. Like, say you haven't gotten a call back yet. I'm able to go right down the hall to the recruiter and be like, hey, did you give Johnny a call? And they'll kind of jog their memory and kind of get the ball rolling there.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, make sure y'all use that. Because again, he's not getting paid to come on this live. He's doing this out of love. But one way you can pay him back, and it helps you too. One way you can pay him back is by putting him down, Cam Easton, as a referral. One, it'll look good on your part because they'll say, oh, you know somebody here at the company. Mm-hmm. So it looks good for you. Two, if you get hired on, he gets a kickback for that. So that's the way you can say, thank you, Cam. But then three, like he mentioned, if you're not hearing back from anybody soon enough, you can contact him and he can be able to help you out with that.
Yep, for sure.
So that's fire. That's fine. All right, bro. So I want to go ahead and jump into some of these questions that people are asking. I know people are asking a bunch of different questions. All right. So someone asked, do you need any certifications to apply?
No, no certifications to apply. But kind of to our point that we've been talking about before, just having that bootcamp experience can be invaluable. I mean, it can definitely give you a leg up over competition because it is a very competitive market. Like, yes, we're hiring 3,400 people, but I mean, there's going to be so many people that get told no. So make sure that you come prepared, and come with some bootcamp experience or any valuable experience that's relevant.
All right, somebody in on LinkedIn, they said great session, Bruno Surprise. Thank you for that, Bruno. Bruno Surprise says great session. I'm a sales engineer at Google Cloud. Everything they're saying is true. Lots of money to be made. Good luck, everyone. Thank you for that. I always appreciate it when people that are already in tech, that are already doing good, pop in and kind of give like a cosign. Because at the end of the day, at this point, most people trust me. Like, most people know I'm not capping on stuff. But at the end of the day, it's always valuable when other fellow techies jump in, give insight, help people out, and kind of give that cosign. So that way it helps people like when they're kind of processing and trying to think through these things. Someone said, what is Cam's name on LinkedIn? It is Cam Newton. Let me go ahead and put it here in the comments. So while I'm putting this here in the comments, another question, Cam, that you can touch on. Someone here on LinkedIn asked, what is the company culture like?
Oh man, I love that question. Culture here is Kaseya rewards winners. And like I said, I've only been here since last Monday. But everything that I can vouch for that I've heard from people that have been here is that Kaseya will reward winners. And if you come in and you put in the work, Kaseya will reinvest that time and effort into you tenfold. So just make sure that you come correct, but this is definitely a spot to grow. And Cyrus, I think you had football in the brain. You said Cam Newton.
Oh, I'm tripping.
You start saying anything.
I even typed in Cam Newton in the comments.
You ready for football season? We got a couple days left.
That's hilarious. I definitely typed in Cam. I am dead. That's so funny.
My boy ready for the season. I don't blame you.
So what's crazy? I don't even watch sports like that. I think it's because of you mentioning we talked about football and then the Cam and and then also like it's the same amount of syllables, Easton, Newton. So I don't know. That's what I think.
I'll give you a pass, bro. I'll give you a pass.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. So hey, but all right, so let's get to the other question. No, I promise y'all I'm sober. I'm completely sober, y'all. Hey, look, y'all, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I actually made a promise that I was gonna stop drinking during my lives. Mainly because I usually drink during my lives. But I made a promise I was gonna stop drinking during my lives, mainly because I was like, I know I'm helping people out, but I really want to be very focused and I really want to like make sure I'm answering questions well. I'm just basically doing a better job and not just being on here chilling, having fun, but really just being here for y'all and not just looking at it as a time for me to relax and like have a drink. All right, so next question. What would you say is a good percentage to invest as far? So you're not investing shares within your company. The company, is like basically how is it set up? Is it that they automatically have like a set number? Are you able to invest more or how? And again, I know you just got the package today. So I'm not going to assume you know about all of it top to bottom, but what all do you know about what you can do when it comes to playing around with the equity you have in your company?
Sure. Yeah, like I said, I had to go through the comp plan to actually see the logistics and the little nuances of the equity plan. But I do know that for every $100,000 that you sell in ARR, annual recurring revenue, that's I want to say like $3,500 in equity towards the company.
Yeah, I'm a little sick from investments.
My boy trying to get some more wine.
No, shut up. I'll get some more water.
Would you grab another glass?
I forgot I muted myself on I forgot I muted myself on Instagram. Nah, I was getting some more water because I got I'm a little sick from Invest Fest. Like a lot of people hugging and dapping up and pictures and stuff. So I ended up getting a little sick. So I'm just getting some more water.
I feel you.
This is water, y'all. It's water. It's Essentia. It's ain't alcohol. All right. So all right, super cool. So let's go ahead and jump into the other quick. Somebody said I feel like Cyrus got a cold. Yeah, I definitely got a cold. The show must go on though. Oh yeah, I'm gonna repost the post on.
Oh no, what happened, bruh?
So Instagram just kicked me off randomly. I'm gonna restart it. We're gonna answer a few more questions, and we'll probably go just until 9:30, and then I'll let you go, bro. I don't know if you heard me, but did you hear me? Were you able to hear me? Were you able to hear me?
Yo.
Yeah, Instagram cut me off randomly, but I'm gonna restart it, and then we'll go on until 9:30.
Yeah, that's cool. Can you hear me through this? All right.
I can hear you. All right. All right, y'all. We're gonna restart it back on Instagram as well, so we can make sure we're answering everybody's questions. Oh. I don't know why Instagram kicked me off. All right, I'm just tagging you in the post from the live that ended, so that way people can. You said it's Cam.Easton, right?
Yeah, 2 N's for Easton, not Cam Newton.
All right, that's funny. I'm dead. I don't know why in the world I did it. That was funny. All right, cool. All right, hopping back on IG Live. Thank y'all on YouTube and LinkedIn for being patient. I don't know why Instagram kicked us off, but we about to wrap it up with these questions though, so we can just get to y'all's questions.
All right, let me join real quick.
Oh, let's mute ourselves on here.
For sure.
All right, y'all. I don't know why Instagram kicked me off. Nevertheless, we're about to jump into these questions with Cam Easton, who is pending to be a millionaire in tech because of the company that he's at. And this opportunity is available for everybody else as well. Of course, he did the Course Careers Bootcamp. For anybody that wants a discount code to the bootcamp, just comment the word in the comment section, text sales, and myself or somebody on my team will send you the discount code. So that way you can do the same bootcamp he did, only $449 with the discount code, and be able to get into the tech industry. So we're about to jump in here. We're going to go ahead and finish answering these questions. I don't know why Instagram kicked us off. Mark Zuckerberg being a hater. No, I'm just playing, but waiting for Cam to send the request so he can join. I guess I'll send it to him. Cam. All right, I'm sending the request myself. All right, I just sent you the request.
Oh, there we go.
All right, bet we back on here. So now, y'all, everybody, we're just gonna start answering questions now. We're gonna get to as many questions as we can as possible. So first question we got over here on LinkedIn. Someone said, Cam, when you applied to your company, were you living in Miami already, or were you living in the area already?
No, so I'm coming from Delaware. For those of you who aren't very familiar, it's like 20 miles southeast of Philadelphia. So yeah, they helped me out as far as relocation packages went. And I moved down here, bro, like last Saturday, and then started the following Monday. So it was a very quick transition.
We got a link. I'm so mad I didn't ask that question. Like, so oh man. So yeah, you were like, okay, boom. You're like, yo, I want to do this. I'm already at a company, but I want this opportunity. And the last company you were at before, were you working remote?
I was remote, yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I love the dedication, bro.
I appreciate it, bro.
You being like, yo, I'm remote. I'm already in tech. But you're like, yo, I'm willing to move. Not that it's a bad move going from Delaware to Miami.
Bro, it's a big upgrade.
Big upgrade. But still, nevertheless, like, bro, I just love it, bro. I respect the dedication, bro, for real.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate that, really.
I looked into these other questions. All right. So, what's going on? All right, someone asked. All right, so we're gonna. We talked about what the tech sales bootcamp is like already. I'll just encourage you to rewatch this, CJ, because he talked about what Course Careers is like already. I'll just say it's self-paced, it's virtual, you do it from home, and it's very informative. Most people that do it actually like it. They say it's they actually enjoy it. So let's get to these questions on Instagram. Oh, yeah. So someone asked, when will Kaseya stop mass hiring, and how many people a month are they hiring?
Yeah, so they're looking to hire about 3,400 people over the next 3 years, and they want their cohorts to be they want to train about 100 people at a time a month.
Yeah, that's spot on what I've heard. 3,400 people. I didn't know how long they were going to be doing the hiring, so that's good to know that. So those of y'all that applied and you get rejected or you fail the cognitive test, in 6 months you can reapply again. So this isn't like if you fail, it's all over. This also isn't like you have to hurry up and rush to apply if you haven't done a boot camp. So they're going to be hiring. They're doing the mass hiring, like he mentioned, roughly 100 people a month, 100 people every single month. So super dope opportunity. All right, question on LinkedIn. Also, bro, if I say something and you want to like jump in and add something else, like feel free to.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Also, someone asked, if I was to apply now, fresh. I don't know what you mean by fresh. Let us know what you mean by fresh. But if I was to apply now fresh, what would I do in terms of the process?
I guess what they mean by fresh is, I guess, like no prior experience. So yeah, I guess probably. Yeah, so I would just say take the Course Careers or whatever boot camp that your heart desires. Take that, and then I would also say connect with some folks that actually work at the company you'd like to work with, because not only are they trying to hire you, you're also vetting the company and making sure this is somewhere you want to actually grow and scale. You don't want to waste time, bro. That's something you never get back. So you want to be intentional with every move you make, every career move, or literally whatever it is. You want to be intentional and move with a purpose.
Good stuff. All right, next question. Do you have good work-life balance, or will you?
See, that's the thing. Like, I'm not going into it thinking about my time off. Like,
exactly.
I made this move because I want to set up my family. I want to set up my kids because of this move. So if I'm sacrificing, say, 5-10 years of a lot of fun and instant gratification right now, I mean, bro, I'm gonna enjoy it tenfold on the back end. So that's what I'm looking forward to, man. I'm trying to be on the beach in Maui, 50 years old, just chilling, drinking my hand, retired, have my equity, have my side businesses running. So yeah, I'm not really thinking about work-life balance right now. Like I mentioned, I'm 24. I did a lot of partying before, so like I'm ready to kind of just buckle down and get to it.
Yeah, I will say, and this is just, I can give this comment about the tech industry in general, is that the tech industry, most companies, if you want to just, work maybe 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., depending on the company, how you have it set up, work remote, enjoy the rest of your days, the rest of your time. You can do that at most companies.
Oh, no, for sure.
But it's really up to what is your goal? Is your goal you want to make enough that you make a little bit more than most people out here and you're able to kind of vacation and trip and just chill and live your best life? Or are you trying to really kill it, seize the opportunity to scale as quickly as possible, make as much money as quickly as possible, and then be able to, just like he mentioned, like live like nobody else can live? That's the opportunity that's here. And so I'm a huge proponent. Obviously, nobody wants to be overstressed, but the whole work-life balance thing, y'all, I'm gonna be real with y'all. People that are becoming like that are growing and grinding and becoming millionaires are not, you can't simultaneously say, how can I become a millionaire? How can I become a quarter millionaire, half a millionaire, but also have work-life balance?
It doesn't work like that. You gotta pick.
Each of those are trade-offs. So again, you can make a low six figures and also be very, very concerned with work-life balance and living your best life and traveling and all that other stuff. You can do that, but you're not going to accidentally fumble your way into $250,000, $500,000, $1 million in this industry if you're very concerned about work-life balance. And so one of my VAs is just calling me. I don't even know how he was able to. He's because I have my phone on airplane mode, but I forget he's calling me through WhatsApp.
Got you. Okay.
So I was like, how in the world did he reach me? Okay, cool. All right, super cool. So what other questions y'all are asking? Somebody asked, what are some safe, affordable places to live in Miami? I don't know no affordable places. Safe, I could tell you some safe places. Affordable.
Few and far between. Like, I'm paying way too much for this little studio I'm in right now out in West Miami. I'm not even in Brickell. Like, I have to wait for my girlfriend to come down, and then between our two incomes, be able to live in Brickell. But yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. This past month, even now, I be chilling in my crib looking at all this space. I'm like, why did I get all this space? I'm like, I'm paying so much money. I'm like, look, y'all, I'm about to be making so much content in this place. Y'all be like, Cyrus, why you keep posting your crib? Because, man, as much as I'm paying for it, I'm going to show it off all the time.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
This was not a wise purchase. I will tell you all that. It's not a wise purchase. But yeah, there are very few affordable places in Miami.
For sure.
Yeah, so all right, let's get back to these questions. All right, so as far as your schedule, is the position Monday through Friday or no days off?
Yeah, no, it's Monday through Friday. It's all in office. Not hybrid. Every single day you're expected to be there. The first meeting is at 8:30. So that doesn't mean roll in at 8:29 or 8:30 on the dot. Like, that's one thing, kind of going back to the culture here at Kaseya, like, we breed winners. So you don't want to come in, in the nick of time just to be able to get your meeting and you're kind of, fumbling. Like, you want to get there at least 30 minutes before work gets started. So I'm getting there for training, bro. I'm getting in there at 7:45, looking over my notes the day before. Because each Friday we have a quiz, and if you get below 80%, you don't pass. So that's something I take very seriously. And like, just on this live, in the spirit of live, like, we're talking about how impactful like this opportunity is. This is not one I'm letting pass me by. This is not something I'm taking lightly. So, I mean, I'm in there early. I'm staying late, doing some role plays, and just trying to be the best me that I can be moving forward.
Yeah, I love that, bro. Yeah, I know Cam, not Cam. I'm talking to Cam. Jack is the same way, where I'm able to see him putting in some extra reps, extra time, and so yeah, y'all. So the opportunity is here, not just with this company, but just in the tech industry in general. Where if you want to put some extra time in, so that way you get that. I mean, it's like Kobe. It's like you had that Mamba mentality. You could put that extra time in training, and it compounds over time, and that's why Kobe is just night and day compared to other basketball players, because he put that extra little bit of time in each time. And so,
Cyrus, off topic, who's your GOAT? Bring up Kobe.
Basketball?
Yeah, who's your GOAT?
I would have to say, I would put it between Kobe or LeBron. I think Kobe. I think
No,
Kobe
Mike?
was. I think no, not Mike. Because the reason why I say Mike, somebody asked earlier, what are some books we read? I read a book called, I think it's called Unstoppable, or it's something. Basically, the book was written by Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Dwayne Wade's trainer. He was the same guy that trained all of them. He was their physical trainer. And he said nobody, he's worked with like all the greats, Tiger Woods, everybody. He said no one trained harder than Kobe. He said Michael was a close second. He said Kobe was just something different. And so I say from that, just mentality wise, and even Jordan said the only person he think could probably beat him will be Kobe. So I would say like just drive Kobe. But I think overall talent, LeBron. Because I mean, yeah, that's why I would say him.
Only thing I'm gonna say about it, then we can move on. I mean, Michael Jordan, you can count on both. That's 6 rings. And he inspired Kobe. Kobe got his whole game, his whole playbook from Mike. So I mean, that's the only thing I'm gonna say on it. But
I respect. Hey, it's Jordan. That ain't no bad. I'm not like, Jordan, what? No, that's Jordan.
Not at all.
No, big respect. Big respect. All right, so next question. So someone asked, is course careers similar to careerists? No, they're not. Careerist is not self-paced. Careerist is 2.5 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's still virtual, so that's how it's similar. And they have different courses in training, education. All right, so next question. All right, I'm not sure if you really know the answer to this question. Someone asked, when will the company start hiring in other areas?
That is a good question. I'd have to say just keep looking at the website. I know that they're always hiring. We're talking about the Miami office, but there is an Orlando office, a Norwalk, Connecticut office. There's a bunch of offices just scattered throughout the U.S. Hiring for a bunch of different positions, like product specialists, sales engineers, account managers, account executives, and like the SDR, BDR kind of role. They are hiring for pretty much everything.
Good stuff. All right, so can people from overseas do course careers boot camp? Yes, you can, but the limitation is not the boot camp. The limitation is on how many companies are hiring where you're at. Because when companies are hiring you specifically for what are called customer-facing roles, that's customer success manager, tech sales roles, sales engineering, roles like that, implementation, any customer-facing role, you're limited with the amount of companies that you can work at, because now you're limited by the time zone you live in, because the company will hire you based on the time zone that you can work in. So I don't know what country that you're in, but that limits you in terms of the amount of companies that you can work at. So just something food for thought. Our next question. Someone said, I'm happy to hear about the hiring process. I'm about to graduate from course careers, but I'm also about to have a baby. Congratulations. And this opportunity sounded so good, but with it being in office, I had concern that I'd miss the mass hiring. Thank you for that. Okay, so just thank you for mentioning that the hiring is going to be going on for a while. Super good. We love it. We love it. All right, y'all. I don't think I see any other questions. Someone asked, I missed the question earlier. How difficult would it be? Okay, so this is an unrelated question to this specific topic, but all right, how difficult would it be to transfer from medical industry to the cybersecurity industry? So I will say this. You can do cybersecurity at a medical company, or you can work at a med tech company or a health tech company and do cybersecurity work. But if you're talking about transferring, if you're talking about using your transferable skills to work in cybersecurity or medical, there's no correlation at all. But if you're saying how hard is it, like mentally wise, if you're a nurse, or if you're like a nurse or a registered nurse or any of those types of roles, y'all be working hard. And I know that a lot of the tests y'all took, y'all ain't no dummies. And so you can definitely do cybersecurity, but the boot camp, whatever boot camp you do, and if anybody wants a recommendation for a cybersecurity boot camp, comment the word cybersecurity, and I'll myself or somebody on my team will send you a recommendation with a discount, all that good stuff to a cybersecurity boot camp. But you can do it cognitively, but the boot camp that you'll do will give you the training and education that you need. All right, good stuff. So Cam, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, bro. Before I do, I want to go ahead and just give you the floor for anything that you want to leave the people with before we hop off this live.
For sure. First and foremost, I want to thank you again for having me on this platform, bro. It really means a lot. Like I said, I've been watching your content since like January. So, I mean, it's just crazy for it to all come full circle on the 1 year anniversary I started Course Careers. I just think it kind of gives me goosebumps, but that's why, you know, you gotta give it all up to the man upstairs. But like I mentioned, like we talked about Kaseya here. If you want to use me as a referral, again, my name is Cam Easton, not to be confused with Cam Newton. You just go ahead and you can just throw that in there. There's like a little section on the application. It just says referred by. You can just put my name in there. It's not like a pull down. You just actually have to type it in, attach your resume. And I just say, like, as far as whether it's Kaseya or any company that you're applying to, just put your best foot forward. Everything's an interview. Even when you're not even thinking about some posts you're making on LinkedIn or Twitter or Instagram, there's somebody looking through your profile just trying to see, like, they're looking for a reason not to hire you. Don't give them that reason at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, just kind of going back forward, Kaseya, Cam Easton, if you want a referral, and I would definitely be here as a resource to be able to assist.
Good stuff. And for anybody that hasn't done the tech sales bootcamp, just comment the word tech sales. Either myself or somebody on my team will send over to you the information with the bootcamp, as well as the discount link. If you want to do sales engineering at Kaseya and you haven't done a sales engineering or solutions consultant bootcamp, comment the word sales engineer and we'll send you over information for that. But if somebody just in general, if you want to do coaching or one-on-one with me, just comment the word coach or coaching. Same thing. We'll send you information over for that as well. Aside from that, love y'all very much. Y'all be blessed. Appreciate you again, Cam, so much, bro. Let's definitely link up while we out here.
Let me ask you, were you planning on having any, like, I guess, like, events? I know you've built like a whole community down here in Miami. Like, were you planning on like some networking events?
I'm going to do one very, very soon. So first we'll do something smaller with just people that I know here and people that are at Kaseya that I know or that I'm connected with on social media. Sure. So we'll do that. And then, like, we'll plan something that's like a bit larger and stuff. So something a little bit more intimate first and then something that's like larger. Definitely.
All right, for sure, bro. No, definitely keep me in the fold. I'd love to, make an appearance and network a bit.
All right, family. All right, y'all be blessed. Have a beautiful night. And yeah, keep us posted.
For sure. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, family.